happy, whatever. Grand Rising, good morning, girl. The lingo has been uh, a certain way. I'm just not waking up, y'all. Like, literally opening my eyes like 15 minutes ago. And, you know what? Give me some time. Let me like fully get up because I was supposed to be coming on like 2 or 3 days ago. And I was supposed to be having a conversation about something, but I totally um, forgot to come on and have this conversation because I've been so productive. Um, and hold on, give me 1 moment. Give me like 2 seconds. Okay. Okay, I have to grab me some water, honey. So, you guys, I hope you guys had a great weekend or great week. Come on in, Heather. How you doing? And so something amazing has been happening. And I won't get too much into it because something that Spirit is teaching me to do is you can think all things, but you don't speak all things. And what that means is things that are revealed to you, a lot of it's not meant to be shared with everyone. Because for one, some people are not ready for that type of information. Because when I tell y'all, it took me years to get here most of my life. And when I say get here, I'm talking about spiritually. And this is one thing I've had a conversation with you guys about. Like one thing I do not like. I do not like people that try to bully people into being anything outside of themselves, right? I think that there's different types of bullying. I think that when you don't know who you are, what you are, and you're mocked or made fun of, I don't know if I could see that as a, from my perspective, someone who was bullied in that type of situation. I don't think it's, I think that's more of a lesson that you're learning to become aware of who you are because that initial type of bullying starts to open your mind about who you are. Like, why do people hate me for me being me? Like, what's really going on? And then you start to get to know you and you start to say, oh, this is why. Because everyone else who was, bullying me, they believed in a certain way. They lived their life a certain way. And because I'm, the same age as them or I'm in their same community, I don't see myself like them. So something in them wants to fight with something in me because it's always what's in the inside, okay, that matters. Can we talk about it? But once you know who you are, and once people have established who you are, and they will try to bully you into being something that you're not, meaning they know your personality, they know your energy, but yet they will still try to like pull one over on you. I think that type of bullying right there is a different type of bullying. And I think that that type of bullying right there, baby, deserves severe punishment. Okay, hello. And we're not talking about violence, honey. We're talking about spirit. Okay, hello. So now that I'm kind of waking up, I want to get into this because I think this is very serious. So I've been having a conversation about things with people I know. And I'm gonna say this. There's so much going on right now that I don't think that every storyline is about every single person. What I mean by that is I don't think that every single thing that is going on is newsworthy and applies to everyone's timeline because news is to bring you some type of information that's going to elevate you somehow. Okay, majority of the stuff that's going on in this world that is being talked about on platforms and stuff, I think is personally clickbait, views. I think that's why people are so upset about certain platforms taking away their payment if you were a content creator, because they started thinking to myself like to themselves like, you know what? Uh I'm wasting all my time. I'm wasting my time talking about this. I don't come on YouTube to have discussions and hoping to get a check from YouTube or any platform that I speak on. Because of course the people, because I offer services, so the people who sees the communication or the dialogue, they're gonna kind of get an idea about, of where I come from, what my thought processes are, and then they're gonna determine if they want to get work done or not. The whole check thing and getting paid from platforms, I mean, I think that's cute, God bless the people. But like I said, that's not me. Okay, that's not for me. Been there, done that. But and I'm waking up now, y'all. So we've been talking about a lot of stuff, and one thing that some people are speaking about was um what's going on right now in the Middle East, right? And I'm like, this feels like a real big deja vu to me. Like not just being over there because they've been over there since the 90s, and of course this is my own interpretation. This is what I receive spiritually. They've been over there since the 90s. There's even like a camp set up, so they've been there, right? But even about the oil, right, the gas, the petroleum, I'm like, even when the pandemic first happened, it was something with gas prices going up, right? And I said, I just feel like this is a deja vu within the past 6 years. And a lot of people don't remember that. I'm like, well, I know it's not a Mandela effect because, Mandela effect is people not remembering information in their brain. Something about our mind, it tries to protect itself. Where if you don't remember all of the information, the mind will start putting together and filling up the potholes or the holes that you're lacking information, right? So we'll keep playing the line over and over again, and then there's like piecing things there. So now people who have never been there will start be put into the story. People who did not have the experience, now you will start saying, no, I know they have this experience. And even going back into what the Mandela effect even initially came from, a lady alleged that um uh I think it was Nelson Mandela went to jail, went to prison, and he died. And of course, people took that face value and was like, well, it's the Mandela effect because that didn't happen. He did go to jail, but he didn't die in this moment. But she felt like this already happened. Of course, this is what she felt because, of course, Mama didn't have no news footage to prove this. And so either way, and then of course people back then, I think that was in the 90s, y'all, that no one said anything about them, deleting shit out of, our timeline and shit, which I don't think is possible. But let me step back. And so either way, I wanted to know what was going on because I'm like, this is given a lot of tea. And y'all, this has been almost 2 weeks ago now, right? And so we're talking about all this stuff, and I'm just like, asking God and my angels and stuff to like keep me focused, and anybody or anything that wants to distract me, like reveal their intention, and then give me the courage and the strength. Because of course, when we're asking spirit, right, God, whatever you believe in, whatever you pray, because I want you to understand, I'm non-denominational, which means like whatever applies, I apply it. Whatever doesn't apply, I let it fly. But I do know that because the highest God that reigns supreme is multifaceted, that their information is in all places, all things, and all sources. So I will never completely close out my mind to information and ideas, without me, first of all, understanding what it is, and of course, asking spirit, is this connected to you or is this a form of manipulation? And so, of course, things started coming to me, and I started seeing signs in the physical wake state. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is just me, right? Because I feel like when you ask for things, when you ask for like going into that, when you're praying for things, people don't understand that the act of praying or asking for something, there also has to be an act of meditation, which is listening, When you're asking your spirits, your orishas, your deities, your gods and goddesses for power or knowledge of something, because that's what you're asking for first. It goes into stories that we've had throughout history that people are asking the universe for things and it did not receive it. And it wasn't because they did not receive it, or they did not receive it because God said, no, you're not ready for this, because clearly they were ready for it. That's why they opened up their mouth and asked for it. What had happened was they did not ask for the knowledge and they did not listen to God's response on how to get to that place. Because the same energy that you pray to in the universe, regardless of what it is, Orishas, deities, and all that, they are not above you. You are equivalent to that energy. And I want you to understand that. The God or goddess within you have to rise up to that energy that you're trying to connect to. So when you're out here doing a self pity party, that's crying and God, please give it to me. I need it, and all that stuff. That energy is communicating, but you're too filled with pity. You're too filled with self doubt, insecurity, that you're not getting that message. And so we have to ask, when we're asking for things, God bless you with a new house, a new car, a new man, a new friend. We got to also say, and give me the ears, give me the knowledge to see, to hear, to taste, to feel the response that you're giving me. And it will be revealed to you without you even thinking about it. And so I, you know, kind of was like noticing things with people, like I said, since December of last year. And, that's now what, 5 months now. April's 5 months. And I've made some great changes, with certain energy, not entertainment, certain energy. And of course, I think that some people are beautiful people. I think that some people don't know, they're not aware of what they're about and what they do, but that does not excuse, their behavior, their actions, or their energies. And so I choose to only give certain people time, but only a little bit of my time. Time is something that, once again, should be used intentionally. And up until this point, I was not using time intentionally. And I think a lot of us, we were not. That's why we feel like time is flying past. That's why we feel like time is not really on our side when it is, right? There's a reason why there's an hour, a second, a millisecond, or even a day, right? And this is to help you be intentional with your living. And so either way, I've been keeping my distance and my, energy to myself. And of course, I should have always done that. Hello. And so either way, I go to sleep one night, and it's about 2 weeks ago. And I'm even intentional with my sleep, y'all. I told you guys about the light affecting your eyes, and the eyes needing to have darkness, and even going into the blue light and stuff, how it creates brain activity. And so people will start having weird dreams, and they will start having lucid dreams, which are just honestly, truly your brain activity while you're unconscious. And of course, your brain operates in different levels, but when you're being exposed to too much blue light, or you're being exposed to artificial light, or you're not getting enough natural light, these wavelengths will start crossing over with each other. So you will go from one length to another length, and that's not supposed to happen. And so you start having these weird dreams where you're like, damn, I had a dream that the devil ate me and shit. And that's, once again, that's too much going on in that brain when it should be at rest. And that's even going into that too, where people think that rest means sleep. Rest is like, oh, before I get into that too, by the way, because, like I said, I'm waking up right now. So you guys, I was supposed to be getting my little, vanity set and stuff delivered last week, but unfortunately, I got a little busy, and I told them, hey, I cannot dedicate time to this. I don't want to be in the middle of doing my work. We had the full moon last week, blah, 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 blah. And so anyway, long story short, so tomorrow they will be delivering my stuff. And so this week I will be able to get on, like I said, I was going to get on at a set time, which I will say what that time is, and, be on camera and have discussions with y'all. Okay. I will actually dedicate my time Okay, of like I said, getting up and getting ready and getting on. And so anyway, going back into that before I started that. Yeah, not having light while you're asleep, ambient lighting is okay, but bright lighting is not okay while you're asleep because like I said, your brain has to rest. It has to have, a resting period. And there's even, I think it's what between the hours of 9 p.m. It's supposed to be actually within 2 hours of the sun going down, natural light. When the natural light sets, you're supposed to be really honestly closing your eyes within 2 hours of that. Because, of course, our body system knows the cycle of the sun and the moon. I won't get into that. But either way, between the hours of 9, p.m. and 1 a.m. is actually whatever time zone you're in. It's the best time to get sleep because the brain goes through the whole body has a cycle, but the brain has a certain cycle that it goes through around these times, right? And then people who do not sleep during this time frame, they're more prone to having like depression and a lot of other mental episodes. And so I learned 2 years ago with the importance of eye health how you have to have darkness for a certain period of time. And so either way, um, fast forwarding, I actually rest, wind myself down. I actually go to bed. And I had a very interesting dream, y'all. And I did not realize what this was until I actually woke up in my waking state because I'm like, what the hell was this dream? Right? And in my waking state, it was revealed to me, and I instantly went online. I instantly typed in the name that I saw, and it came up so much information. So I'm going to reveal this down the line very soon because, of course, it's something that's like, it's like fire in my bones. How? It's like fire in my bones, and I feel like I have to speak about it. But I'm going to tell y'all this dream a little bit and I'm going to leave it there. And I think that I'm going to also give you some insight and then I'm going to keep it pushing because those who, have the ears to hear and the eyes to see is going to see this. And those who don't, you're going to be in where you're in. And, everybody can't go to the same space and the same place. That's what I believe. I feel like we have to have overweight people. We got to have healthy people. We got to have, sick people. We got to have healthy people because, of course, just everybody's not meant to be in the same space, right? We will be boring if we all like the same thing. Or just because this person's going plant based, we all have to go plant based. And so, either way, um, I have this dream, y'all, without even thinking about it. And that's how I know this is a dream. I wind myself down, and in this side in particular, I normally go to sleep with like YouTube playing in the background, like sounds for sleep. And I did it. I went to sleep to the sounds of my turtle tank. And so I fall asleep. And while I'm sleeping, I had an experience of going to sleep and I'm in this mountain, high terrain, we'll say rough terrain, rigid terrain place. And these people are trying to like show me something. And I'm following them. And as I'm following them, I feel like we're going into like a valley. As we're going into this valley, and I could feel the air, I can smell the air, and it smelled like dirt, right? But it was not like it was clean, but I could smell dirt, right? And I can't even describe that smell, but I'm gonna say I could smell dirt. And so as I'm walking, I can see the sun and I can feel the sun kind of burning the backside, but not the front side. The front of me was cool, but the backside was burning me. And so we're going down into this, valley like thing from this mountainous, rigid terrain. And as we're going down, I'm starting to see water, but I'm also starting to see that there's clouds just there, right? And I'm looking at this and we're going. And as we're going down, I'm seeing a lot of people just like huddling up, like they're preparing for something. And as we're going down, in my first instance, I'm thinking this is a camp, right? Like, oh God, people are camping, right? Because that's the camping places I grew up at. That's what it looked like. It looked like mountains, and it looks like valleys within the mountains, and then there's a lake there, and we're all swimming at this lake. And as we're going down, I'm noticing that we're going further and further down, but we're not going under the water. We're like going to the side of this water, to the side of this lake. So the elevation is going down. And as we're going down, we end up in this like cave-like tunnel, right? Like a tavern. And it was already like hollowed out. And so I'm looking back and I'm seeing the same era, or the same scene that I've seen before we get down into this valley. And I knew that this was like it's not my mind showing me like playing tricks or anything. I knew like this was a real experience, right? And like I said, this was not in this moment, but when I woke up I knew that, because I was like, what made me turn around and look? And so I look, everything's looking the same, and I'm just noticing that people are clearing out of this tunnel. And there was two men in particular. And if I had to describe these men, I won't go too deep into the to details, because these could be real people. But these people look to be like a cross between um, white folk and, I would say these people look Mediterranean. These are Mediterranean looking people. And so they're coming out with these big old uh golden poles. They look like golden poles to me, right? They look like big golden poles. And like I said, this tunnel was huge, y'all. Like I don't know in this situation how tall I was, but in my waking state, I'm about 5'9", and 3/4. So I'm almost 5'10". So I just say I'm 5'10". And so these caves was probably like 20 of me, right? Like probably 20 of me touching the very top of this. That's just how big this was. And you can even hear like the smallest sound will make an echo. And so I knew that this was like deep, 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 deep. I knew this went really, really deep. But of course, I did not go all the way in. And I'm being like, say, guided by these people. And so these two men, they come out with these golden posts. Even in its darkness, I was seeing this, right? Because it was like like dim lighting. Okay. And so I'm now coming out of the tunnel. We're going, up this, back up where we're coming from. And these guys are carrying these big old fucking golden poles. And these are real gold. Yeah, this is real gold poles from what I saw, right? They were gold poles, but I could tell they were real gold. I can feel it. These are real gold. And when they got out completely to the very top and I turned around, these poles are actually golden snake shaped poles. And of course, I'm asking the people, they're speaking their language, and I'm asking them in English, and it could have even been telepathically, because I don't remember hearing sound coming out of my mouth. I heard like, my head voice. But I'm asking them, you know, what are these and how much would this stuff be valued? And they were like trillions of dollars, right? They were like trillions of dollars, like 24 trillion, 26 trillion. It was something along those lines, y'all. Like I said, this has been already 2 weeks. And I told one of my friends, as soon as I woke up from this too, I told my friend, I said, oh my God, I had the craziest spiritual experience. And so either way, y'all, as they carry this, one of these serpent golden things fall, and I could not see the front of it. Right? When I was trying to get the front of it, I could not see the front of it. But one of them ended up falling. And when it fell, I saw in the furthest distance, right, as it was falling, in the furthest distance, like or I'm going to say torpedo, because that's what I felt in this moment, not a missile. And of course, missile and torpedoes could be the same thing. But I saw a torpedo coming from this direction. And as the torpedoes come from this direction, it literally hits what would be the backside of this tunnel. And I felt like the ground shake. And as the ground is shaking, I'm seeing the water like splash up, and all these people started. all these people started jumping over me. Like they were protecting me from what was going on. And y'all, it was traumatic for me because I saw this happen and I feel these people like jumping over me to protect me. Ooh, hold on. And so either way, you guys, it was traumatic for me. And even like 3 or 4 days after waking up from this experience, like I was so shook. Like y'all, like it was like I said, it was a traumatic experience for me. And so either way, upon waking, and I'm keeping stuff out of this story because, of course, like I said, I felt like this is a real situation, and I felt like it was a past thing that happened. And when I say past, I think something in a like thousands of years happened, but I think it also connect to modern day. And so either way, I wake up because I hear a name, right? As I'm seeing this, I hear a name and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna type this name in. And when I typed the name in, I heard it a different way, but it is there's a ancient language that these people were speaking. And like I said, I think this is modern time though, but I think it connects to, like I said, the history. And so I started looking up the name, and it is connected to something with serpents. And not only is it connected with something in serpents, it is connected to modern day Iran. And I tell people a story, and I'm not going to repeat it right now, but I tell people my very first traumatic life that I've had on this planet, if you believe in reincarnations, if you don't, okay, whatever, everybody's entitled to their own beliefs, was Mesopotamia, which is considered ancient Persia, which is modern day Iran. And in this dream, y'all, my purpose in this current life made so much sense to me. All of my spiritual experiences that I've had up until this point, it added on to something. And I never knew in that experience what I was experiencing. And even the people, like I felt like my reality was my reality, but I felt like my reality was different from other people's reality. So I saw people act certain ways and do certain things, and of course we're going into like friends and stuff. But now it has been made so clear to me. And even why even the person who is starting all this is also the same zodiac sign as me. And they also represent fire, which of course Gemini's quality is air, but my element is fire. And so it all lines up. And that's why I tell people when things are happening in the physical state or the waking state, I don't question it because I know that there's a spiritual or higher purpose to that. And like I said, I'm not going to share with y'all what that is because, of course, everything that is revealed to you don't have to be explained. But that right there really woke me up. And ever since then, I have been digging and digging, and things have been making so much sense to me. And even when I ended my last live, I mentioned about the Gina Isis, and I mentioned about Israel, Isis, Ra, and Bel, and even why and how these Christians have taught the Bible to American people. And they have, while they were teaching about God being the only God and being the most powerful God, they were playing God. And on top of them playing God, they were using that religion to enslave and abuse, not just physically, but spiritually, verbally, and emotionally, of course, that's affecting them mentally. They were abusing them on those levels. And so they're sitting here and they're telling you in 2026 that this is why Negro spirituals came about. Because these black people knew they were going to be vindicated. And this is the same people that taught y'all this shit. It doesn't make sense to me. If you really believe in the God that you're teaching about, and you believe this God does not want any other God before them, but yet you have intentionally taught these people that they should worship you because you are white, God is not happy with you, right? The authentic God is not happy with you. And instead of y'all out here trying to get power, you should be repenting publicly if this is true. If you really believe in this God, this is a real God that is going to be judging people on Judgment Day. You should be out here repenting publicly for the public to see, especially the black folk and the descendants of the black folk that you fucking enslaved, could see your repentance. But you're not doing that because the information that you taught them is not the real tea. And that's what it is. The real tea is not Baal was over there in Jerusalem. The devil, remember, they have to give you partially the truth, and that guys, they have to give you partially the lie. And I'm not going to say too much because I've been teaching all about this Bible stuff for a particular reason, and and I want to keep it on that until I start getting feedback from people on what they have gotten. But just know that the Bible is partially true and partially man manipulated. And even going into the sense of me asking God, regardless of what my lifestyle, because people, that's another thing too, people will try to distract you with. Regardless of what it is and how it ain't, my intentions and my heart is pure. And in order for you to receive real information from the real God that reigns supreme, you have to have pure intention and a pure heart. Okay? I don't do things for clout. I don't do things to be liked. I always tell that to people. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. My time on this planet is not going to supersede 200 years. Imagine having a history of 8,000, 9,000 years to only experience 100 of those years or 200 of those years. That's not enough. So I don't care to please people in this short life of mine. I don't care about that. I want you to understand that I don't care about that. What I care about is understanding what the spirit in me, the soul in me needs, and to make sure that it has it. And that means person, places, or things. And so back into that, it's manipulated. And when it comes down to Christianity, it's 50-50. I asked the Most High to reveal to me what is the authentic. What is the, if I really wanted to seek after God's true power in the human form, what theology would I connect to? And right there, it's so clear in the ancient language, because they have the prayers still in this ancient language. And that's another weird thing too. In America, we're taught world history, but they don't talk about this. And I feel like they personally have, because they are ruled by Israel, right? Because Israel goes against this. Israel don't care for this language, and Israel don't even care for these people. So they have intentionally set up to where they don't teach you anything about this. They don't teach you anything about the language. They don't teach you anything around the place. They'll bring the place up every now and then, but they don't talk about it. And so as I'm digging, I'm seeing this information and how sacred. And that's another thing too, because it will have you questioning their true intentions. What God do they really serve? What real God is Israel connecting to? Though what they're Jewish, right? What real God are the Jewish people connected to over there in Israel? What are they really taught in the Torah? It makes you question that, because yes, the information that in this other place that I'm telling you about, the information they have is definitely true. The information they have is definitely it's still some manipulation there though. But it's the closest thing to, if you're trying to figure out who, because of course they have to water it down, something about colonizers and people trying to control shit. They want to maintain their power, right? They want to give you a little bit of insight over who this God or who these energies are, but they don't want to give you all the information. Because if they give you all the information, you can out pray them. If they give you all the information, you can ask the same God that they're using to control you to eradicate them. And they don't want that. And the same thing with what's going on in the world with a lot of stuff. It's always been the light versus the dark. It's always been the good versus evil. It's always been the Hura versus the Ahriman. It's always been that type of energy. It's always been Mazda versus the Mani. Okay, and so even in us, the humans, right? Even within us, we have the energy within us. We've always been storytellers. We've always been speakers of, we always been speakers. You're either the speaker of truth or you're the speaker of lies. You either are the storytellers of the light or you're storytellers of the dark. But it's always been about positive and negative. It's never been about race. And that's their construct that they have created to keep you further and further away from who you actually are. They have you thinking that, baby, you are who, oh, I'm this and that. And I have this discussion with friends, honey. I don't think I've had this with you all. But have you noticed that when there's movies about like ancient countries and ancient worlds, even the Vikings, people think that Vikings were only white folks? Yeah. People thought that there was only white Vikings, right? But they actually had Negro ones too. I had to put it to you like that. They also had Negro ones too. They had a whole bunch and a lot of tea, honey. Hello? When you go into ancient Asia, when you go into ancient, any place ancient, it has not been only white folks or black folks or Asian folks or whatever. There's always been, and even going into the truth of it all, there's actually 15 races of men. 15 races of men. And there would have been more, but the first mother and father actually consumed their children. They actually practiced cannibalism. And that's why even going into the colonizers, going into foreign countries, including, because they've always had this truth. When they came into the Americas, that's why they were eating the children and the women. That's why they were eating the children and women. And even going deeper than that, practicing the use of the seed, which is the semen. I'm not going to get into that neither. But that's why they do these things, because they know about this shit. They know about this shit, honey. This shit has been taught to those who have access to this information, y'all, for at least the past 4,000 years. And I kept saying 1,500 years ago, something happened, and I got my answer. I got my answer. It also was revealed to me during tax season, honey, by the way. I think that was around the time what tax season ends April 14th, April 15th. I did not know the Titanic and even Abraham Lincoln was either assassinated or he was attempted to be assassinated around that time. The first assassination attempt was like April the 14th. I had no idea, honey. Hello? I know people are gonna say, oh, you heard about history. Yeah, but babe, we're talking about like really paying attention to that because I always feel like their stories are always their stories. That's why they call it history, and it doesn't mean the motherfucking truth. What they say is three sides to the story: his story, her story, and the receipts. So I, I, and let me tell you this right now. I, I, I have seen enough tea, and like I said, it has blew my mind. This past week, my experiences has been beyond, like, I can't even understand it, honey. I can't even understand it. Okay? Like, so I'm not going to get into that. Like I say, everything that's revealed to you don't have to be explained, or because people got to have their own revelation during their own time, and and it is what it is. But even going into, like I said, people who are connected, once again, talking to yourself, and I even wanted to type that in as well, because they would always say you could talk to yourself, but as long as you don't answer yourself. Let me type something in before I say it. Hold on. Hold on, honey. Hold on, honey. Oh, I knew it. Okay. So, can we talk about this? I wanted this confirmation because I heard this before, right? Everything that they tell you publicly, socially not to do is probably something that you should do. They would be like, "Ooh, I don't fuck with this girl because she talked to herself, y'all, right?" Or and once again, I told y'all that's why I used to have nicknames and stuff, and I even went to like psychology and stuff. So there's one thing about me, honey, as a person, regardless of what I am, transgendered or not, baby, I've been under medical supervision. I've had my cognitive functioning tested and stuff, girl, at a very young age, and like I said, not on any medication. I've not been to any type of what do they call it? Like a asylum or anything. Okay, honey. Let's talk about it. And so I'm just saying that to say it, honey. Regardless of what it is or what I am, baby, I'm still an intelligent person. So talking to yourself is a sign of high cognitive functioning. Functioning as a tool for improved focus, memory, and emotional regulation, rather than a sign of mental illness. It acts as a cognitive scaffold to organize thoughts, solve problems, and plan actions, what can be seen as an indicator of higher intelligence. And let me tell you this too, as somebody who talked to herself, girl. There's times I wanted to read somebody the fuck down and probably even get motherfucking violent with their motherfucking asses. Meaning that girl, they let me have it or they thought they were gonna push me. And I almost pushed their ass motherfucking back and knocked them the fuck out. But me having that dialogue with myself internally and out loud sometimes, because I'm by myself, I will say out loud, like, bitch, could you believe that bitch did that? Like, girl, it has stopped me from beating their motherfucking ass and going to motherfucking jail. And I'm just being honest with y'all. Or even just blocking people. Because that's another thing, too, girl. When people play like they something that they're not, meaning that they're intelligent, meaning that they're on your level, like, girl, I'm on your level, too. And you're like, okay, yeah, I believe it because we've had conversations. And then they do something where you're like, wait a minute, bitch, how old are you? Girl, I'm not playing with that girl at that point. Like, I'm ready to block and ban and never talk to you again. And there's no shade with that, baby. I'm ready for that. So it's just like, girl, me having internal dialogue with myself, I feel like things are also revealed to me. When I'm having an internal dialogue, I know I'm talking to the Holy Spirit that's within me, that's connected to the Holy Spirit that's above all things, including the umbrella. And so either way, that's when insight comes to me and I'm able to tap into energy that my conscious mind cannot tap into or even comprehend. And so when you're talking to yourself, you are actually engaging in something higher up. And of course, as you mentioned, or as you heard me say, talking to yourself helps with emotional regulation. We talked about even crying, right? And there's one thing about myself, y'all, I used to hate it, but now I really don't. I hated the fact that I was a very emotional, crying person. And even people throughout the years have mistaken my crying. Like my sister, her and I, we got into an argument before. I called my mom crying because I was so upset, y'all. Like when I tell you I was so upset, I was ready to go to my sister's house and fuck her up, my cousin up, and her baby daddy up, y'all. And I'm not joking. I swear to y'all. And I was going to call the police, so I was on my way over there. And I was about to fuck all three of their asses up, y'all. I swear before God. And so I had to call my mom because I had to calm myself down. And my mom was like, "What happened? What happened?" And I was just so emotional, I could not express it. And of course, I was pissed off at myself because I was like, I'm trying to get this out. And I can't get this out the way I want to get out because I'm just crying and crying, crying and crying and crying and crying. And crying. And so she called my sister and not being messy, but saying, like, hey, your sister called me and she was crying about blah. So my sister took it as, oh, bitch, she was crying. So she got my phone, you crying ass baby. And so she did that, girl. I said, girl, I wasn't crying because you hurt my feelings, bitch. Because I was about ready to come over there and flatten you out like a motherfucking pancake, bitch. What I was crying for, baby, because I was thinking about me going over there fucking your ass up and hurting your motherfucking kids and my motherfucking mama. And that's how I was motherfucking crying, girl. I wasn't crying because you hurt my feelings, boo. Because they ain't shit your motherfucking nasty ass can tell me. Anyway, girl, so we got into it, y'all. But that's one quality about myself I used to hate is that I'm emotional. But now that I'm older and I can look back and say, damn, there's times where I could have uppercutted that fucking manager of that Walmart and bitch, I would have been in jail. Damn, there was times where, girl, that motherfucker was hanging on my motherfucking window and I would have backed my car up and I would have smidged him down. Like, girl, like these are things that I think about. Like, damn, that time where I went in and that bitch like straight to my face and I immediately felt like I was in danger and I really wanted to pop this bitch up. I want the girl, but me having that conversation, right? Like, girl, no, 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 no. And even going into me knowing my own temperament, like I know when my energy is shifting. I know when I'm in a good mood and now I'm changing mode. And I will say this too. I don't give people power to change my mood, but I do not like, I mean, how would I say this? I feel like when people know you or they claim they know you and you've expressed to them how you operate or you've shown them how you operate, and yet they want to intentionally play games with you or play in your face at that moment, honey. And now I'm to the part I'm not even talking no more, girl. I don't even got to explain to you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it because I don't owe you a fuck ass thing, honey. And if you assume anything, you assume anything. I don't care, honey. When I feel like it, I'll come back and I'll say, this is not what it is. This is not what it ain't. But either way, this ain't what it is, or this is what it is. Whatever. But um having that dialogue with myself and knowing, okay, no, baby, I need to separate myself from this energy because it's not right. And I've also asked the Holy Spirit because we have senses within our body, 172 to be exact, but we only have five senses that we are consciously aware of. That I tell God, I say, use my senses to tell me this is my time to go. I was in a situation the other day. Somebody I know was in a weird energy. I did not want to be around that weird energy. I told God before, I don't want to be in any type of weird energy, honey. If somebody is going through their thing, they're going through this stuff, I will let them have their space, honey, because there's something that you cannot do. And that's another thing I keep telling people too. When people are going through psychotic episodes and emotional breakdowns, you cannot help them. You can offer support to a degree, but you cannot help people when they're going through that type of evaluation. Those are called growing pains. Those are called leveling up moments. Those are called extension. That's called a spiritual extension. Extension. When people are having emotional breakdowns or they're having mental breakdowns, you got to let them be in that. You got to let them be in that energy and you could disconnect. That doesn't make you less of a friend. That does not make you less of a friend, baby. That does not because you've offered the support, you've offered the support to your greatest capacity. But you got to also keep your mental, your emotional, and your physical well-being as top priority. Okay? And so either way, I've learned that. And so I tell spirit, let me know. Use my body because my body is also intelligent and the spirit that's within my body is even more intelligent. Hello? Because the brain could be manipulated. We got mind, body, and soul. Can we talk about it? We got mind, body, and soul. We have mind, which is spirit, right? We have body and we have soul. The soul cannot be altered, but the other things can. The body can be altered and the mind can be altered, which is spirit, right? Anyway, we won't get into that. That's a little too deep right now. I think some of you understand that, but still. And so either way, that's what I say. Spirit, when it's my time to let this person go do their thing, give me a sign. Let me feel a tingle in my spider senses. That's what they say, right? Ow! Let me feel a tingle. And baby, yeah. I had a friend that was girl, I felt it, honey. I said, no, I'm gonna be here and be a friend. I'm gonna support this friend of mine. And y'all, I instantly felt something really like a strong surge. Like spirit said, no, bitch, hang up that phone now. So I said, okay, baby, I gotta go. And my friend was like, no, 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 no. I said, no, 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 I'm gonna go, babe. And at that point, I was ready to hang up in their fist. I gotta go. I hung it up. That feeling left me. And then, of course, the next day they told me, they said, you know what? Honestly, I really wasn't feeling. Oh, I knew it. I knew it, babe. I felt like you're about ready to cuss me out. Honey, in the moment I didn't feel it, but it started to come to me like, ooh, honey, yeah, this energy is a little heavy. And so either way, honey, understanding that, girl, and that's why I'm gonna close it up with too when I'm about to get up off of here. But it says that talking to yourself, self-talk is intelligence, and it says that it improves cognitive performances by verbalizing tasks such as reading instructions out loud, enhances concentration and memory, helping people perform tasks faster and more efficiently. Enhance focus and reasoning. Self-talk boosts focus, aids in working memory, and helps in organizing complex information, often utilized by high performers and athletes for planning. So no wonder why I have a good memory, bitch. I talk to myself. Hello, and I'm not embarrassed of that, girl. Hello. Now, do I say, girl, what you gonna do today? Well, I don't know, girl. I think I'm gonna go shopping. Why shop? You know, I need to save money. Oh, girl, you're right. I should be saving my money. But wait a minute, what happened? Well, girl, you know what? Wait, what? What you say? I said this. Wait, hold on. I can't hear you. You're myself is talking. I don't do that type of talking to myself. But I definitely be like, girl, what is going on with these people? Oh, girl, I can't believe that this bitch really thought that she had one up on me. Oh, this motherfucker really think that he about to trick me. Like, girl, what the fuck is going on? And then I hear or I feel something saying, this is what you need to do. I'll be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And the idea said, bitch, you need to cut them off. Cut them off now. And at first I'm like, but why would I cut him off? And then I start seeing why you need to cut him off, and bingo. And then of course I tell them, they're like, but how would you know that? Let me tell y'all a good example. Come on in here, Holy Spirit. Ow! Let me tell y'all a good example. Mm, And I gotta ring this bell, honey, because I feel like the bell, let me tell y'all this, honey, and this is an Oshun bell, y'all. I showed y'all this, honey. Somebody gave me this bell. One of my spiritual people down there in Bakersfield, California. Who you doing, honey? Gifted me an Oshun bell, honey. Hello. Yes, honey. It's not crazy to y'all. My friend down there, she barely speaks English. She's from Mexico. She's the daughter of Santa Muerte, and she gifted me Oshun, y'all. And I never bought any Oshun statue or anything from her. But now I'm thinking about it, I do think that, yeah, I think that one of my sisters told her. I don't know. I don't know. She could tell me or not. I'm going to ask her before I tell you what I'm going to say. And so either way, I forgot where I was going with that now. I started thinking about my damn friend. And I'm like, I need to go up there to go see her, honey. I gotta get the baker, so I gotta go see my friend, y'all. I've not seen her in some time. Oh, there we go. That's what we're getting to say. I have to tap into it. So y'all, I'm sitting here and I'm having this discussion, and I just felt like funny vibes from somebody, right? And so I was like, I gotta go. And then so somebody texts me like 20 minutes later, and they were like, just so you know, you missed it. And I was like, what did I miss? They say, you missed this person cussing people out. And I think they were cussing you out too. And I said, what? And they're like, yeah, they were cussing you out. And I said, what did they say? And they were like, well, I don't want to say it because I don't want to be messy. But they were talking about training this, training that. So I was like, oh, okay. So I left it alone. So I said, girl, okay. So I was feeling something. Fast forwarding, y'all. Something tells me, girl, join that group chat. And I think what told me, like, my phone kept going off. My phone kept saying, "Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da." And mind you, I wasn't getting notifications for the group chat because I'm not in the group chat. But it was other things that kept alerting me. And I'm like, fuck, I was about to throw my phone, y'all. I was like, who the fuck keep sending me messages and notifications? Because I know ain't nothing going off like that. Right? And so I was so upset, y'all. And so when I clicked on it, like there was nothing there. But I was like, wait, this is something spiritual. Like I immediately acknowledged this is spirit. This is spirit speaking. So I tap in on the phone line. I enter my fucking code and I joined this group chat. Now, mind you, I only joined this group chat because one of the persons that's in it, I guess they sent me a link, but I guess they didn't cancel the link. I don't know how that works. So I click on it, and when I click on it, God, the same person I got a funny feeling from, days prior to that, was talking. And then, of course, he tried to like switch up the conversation. And I was like, no, 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 no. What was going on? What just happened? And he's like, everything that I talk about doesn't apply to you. And I said, I'm not saying that, but I just walk in on a conversation and I want clarification because I felt funny the other day. And I'm like, letting him have it. And of course, after I'm done with this session, y'all, it gagged me because I went in there. That's what it got me like, damn, like Spirit Girl is so amazing, honey. I just want to say that, baby. And I will never apologize. for following any direction or guidance from the spirit, baby. Hello. Bitch, I don't give a fuck what nobody say, girl. You get offended at me, you could cuss me out, you could block me, girl. If spirit tell me not to do something, baby, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I don't give a fuck who it offends and how it offend you, girl. Because I'm not here to please you. Respectfully. So I exit up out of this chat, y'all, after I said my piece and clarified to this fuck boy what it is and what it ain't. And then they were gagging, whatever, like, wait a minute. So who called her to come in here? Was it you? And they were like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. And the other person, no, I didn't know. Well, that's weird because how would this bitch know to come in here? And y'all, when they gave me this confirmation, because it wasn't in this moment, it was later that night, because they were calling gagging me. Like, I don't know how you got up in there, sister, but you entered at the right time. Baby, it was spirit. It was nothing but the Holy Spirit that got me up in there, baby, because my phone kept going off, and I'm like, why the fuck does this phone keep going off? And baby, I click on the phone, it had nothing to do with nothing. But something said in that moment, go ahead and join that group chat because you there's something you need to hear. And I tapped in, bitch, and y'all were in there talking. And so we laid it all out on the table. And today, by the matter of fact, we're having another little situation because, of course, things need to be clarified for me. Okay, I got the answer, but see, I like to hear people tell me what the answer is because, baby, I know. See, one thing about me, two things for sure, y'all. Spiritual intelligence is also being tapped in, but also outside of being tapped in, you got to have some type of intelligence, and this is a internal dialogue. In order to keep yourself protected, you got to know when, where, why, and how. Can we talk about it for a minute? Can we talk about it? In order for me to be safe in this world, particularly this country, because at one point I didn't feel safe. Hello? And that's kind of sad because I had ancestors who fought in the wars to make sure that America stayed protected and safe for me. And unfortunately, there was times I didn't feel safe in this country. Hello, as an American citizen, can we be honest? Hello. And so either way, that's what made me focus on spirituality. What made me focus on spirituality was the inside of me has the supreme power. The inside of me has the information of why, when, where, and how. The inside of me can relate to the birds and the bees and the trees and the grass and the food that I eat. The energy within inside of me can relate to the waters, to the earth, to the air, to the fire, and to the sky, right? Because these are all sacred things. And so I learned that I had to fully engage. I had to fully study. And there's times, honey, where the flesh was like trying to step in and say, but no, you need friends. Oh, no, you have to befriend these people. Oh, no, 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 no. But of course, the spirit always shut up and showed out and said, baby, no, these are not the people for you. And if you keep fucking with them, I'm going to show you why. And of course, I fucked with them and I got shown why not to fuck with these people no more. But either way, that spirit within you is a protector. That spirit within you, everything they say that God is, your lawyer, your doctor, your healer, your provider, that's what that spirit is. The whole purpose of prayer and fasting, y'all, is to cut off distractions. It's also going into the idea that already within your body, you've had unresolved or unstored energy. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it from a scientific, a spiritual scientific T? Because I'm sure medicine can also speak this back into me. So your cells is responsible for 100, if not 1,000% functioning of your body on all levels, from the tip of the toes to the top of your crown. The foods that you consume, just like the water that you consume, and water is probably the most powerful. That's why you cannot live more than 3 days without water, because water has memory. And the power that's in water, I'm not even going to break that down for y'all right now. But just know water is very powerful when it comes to cleansing, decoding, and healing. It's a protected, what they call it, cleaning, protecting, and molding. And so either way, the body, the cells within this body is always responding. Not only is it responding to the environment, but it's also responding to the friends you hang around with. It also responds to the videos that you watch on YouTube and TikTok and stuff. Your cells within your body is also responding to the TV shows you watch. Whatever you're ingesting, y'all, we talk about this. You ingest through all five of your senses. You ingest between all of your five senses. Your physical body, I want you to understand this, ingest through all five senses. And then when it is ingested, the body, whether it is the physical body, the spiritual body, the emotional body, digest that information. And the whole purpose of digestion is to break down and to sort out the information. So whatever's needed is applied. Whatever's not needed is released and let go back into where it came from. So the human body responds to all things that it receives. But going back into the food thing, what you put within your body, your cells respond to it. And it's either going to overstimulate your cells, it's going to understimulate your cells, or it's going to give your cells just enough. When it gives your cells just enough, your cells operate at their highest capacity. When it gives your cells too much, which means it overstimulates it, it causes the cells to die off prematurely and they're not able to rejuvenate themselves. That's also known as disease. When it doesn't give it enough, it's another form of premature. The cells develop, the cells kind of go through their transformation where they die off and more is produced and so forth. It's kind of like a snake shedding its skin. But when they're underproduced or they don't get enough, not enough, they get just a little bit, but not enough. It's some type of activity, but those cells are then washed out. So it's very important that we put, or going back to what I was saying. So going even to equate into having too much fat within your body. You already have information stored. The fat cells that's in your body, the fat that's in your body has been brought into your body and has not been released, right? Because some people can eat 2,000 calories, honey, and they're thin as fuck. That means they have a fast metabolic rate. And if you don't know, metabolic rate also deals with you being disease free and shit. Metabolism, that deals with you being disease free and shit too. But those who have a slower metabolic rate, or an unhealthy function metabolic rate, once again, you will get diseases. You will have a less turnover time. Your body will lose oxygen. That also goes into oxidative stress and so forth and so forth. So either way, when you're fasting, you're allowing your body to have a reset. So you're allowing the healthy cells that are still within your body to start to scavenge, to start to eat at, which is called autophagy. And if it's not autophagy, it's autonomyphagy. Look this up, honey. Where these cells will start eating up these dead cells or these cells that are not doing nothing in your body, but allowing a breeding ground for diseases and things to manifest. And so when you're fasting, it is aligning your mental body, your spiritual body, your emotional body together because now these other cells are waking up, right? Because they're not distracted, because the cells have a purpose. The cells are here to do a job. And because you're not putting new information or new things into the body, the old cells, the grandparent cells, are able to attack and or get rid of cells that don't belong within that body. So it will start emulsifying, dissolving those fat cells. And those fat cells will start to literally disappear, but they're not disappearing. It's actually being rinsed out in your bloodstream. And of course, it's being released through fecal matter and or urine. Hello? And so the act of fasting and praying is to cut off all distractions so you can pay attention to what your bodies are telling you, because your bodies are always speaking to you. And that's one thing that they try to teach you is that don't talk to yourself. Oh, you can't do things alone. You need a group of people with you. No, girl, that's a form of manipulation. That's a form of control. Yeah, if I feel like I want to go skipping and hopping and backflipping down the road, but nobody else is in that mood, so I have to say, well, today I feel like doing backflips, but I'm not going to do a backflip today because nobody else want to go backflipping for me. What type of life am I living? Bitch, if I want to go do backflips and squats and turns and twistings and all the shit, I I want to do that. That seems fun to me. I'm going to do that. Ain't no motherfucker gonna stop me from doing it. But see, they want you, oh, you gotta go do, no, you should do it with other people. No, because baby, she may not be in the mood to do it. Or better yet, I might be in a good mood. She might be in a fuck the best mood. So now I gotta deal with this trifling asshole because she in a fuck the best mood, and now my mood gotta get fucked up. No, that's not how my life is gonna be. But that's how they teach you because that's a form of control. They have to control you. When you spend time by yourself, because see, I talked about this before, and I'll continue to say this. I enjoy spending my time alone because I'm able to hear myself. I'm able to feel myself. I also love dealing with people, family, and friends, but I am learning to also keep that to a minimum. Because then their ideas start falling on you, and you start having these same ideas, and now you start getting in this panic mode, like, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't, oh my God. So I want you to understand that isolation is important. Alone time is important. Having inner dialogue is important. People talked about your inner child is wounded. A lot of you, well, I don't know how to connect with my inner child. Well, you don't spend time with yourself. You were single. You got a man or woman involved. Before y'all can even have a moment of silence, you start having a baby. So now you're really not going to get no alone time because now it's you and your baby, and you're going to be focusing on what your child needs. So you really also don't have no alone time. You didn't have no time to process any information. You literally transitioned from a kid into an adult without any breaks. Without any breaks. And so you feel like you're in a state of confusion. You feel stagnant. You feel like, I don't know which way to go. Yeah, because you haven't had alone time with yourself. And even when you were by yourself before you had these children, you were still thinking about this man or this woman. It's very important to have moments of isolation. It's very important to have times where you're in your own thoughts and your own feelings. And it's also okay. Oops, somebody just yelled bastard. Oh my God. Girl, I'm ringing that bell. Somebody's girl, some neighbor just cussed out somebody. She said, bastard. Um, but it's very important, y'all. There's three things that we need in order to function at our greatest self. And that's how I'm going to end this. We need adequate rest. We need proper hydration. And we need proper nutrition or nutrients. And whatever that means to you, do your research on that. But we need adequate sleep. We need proper hydration. And we need proper and adequate nutrients on a continuous basis. And this is more than just what you're eating, like I said, what you're drinking, how you're resting. It's like, it's who and what you deal with as well. Going into rest, and I want to pull up the definition of rest before I say it because, of course, definitions are man-made, but I know what the Holy Spirit, how? Come on in here. I know what the Holy Spirit revealed to me. Hello. When I talked about rest. Hello. Because some people will sleep all day and still be tired. Some people will have a long time, but still feel like they need more time. Can we talk about it? Am I talking right now? Hello. Let's get into it. Hold on. Let's pull this up. Rest refers to, according to Google, a state of inactivity, relaxation, or sleep. So the definition does tell you exactly what the Holy Spirit revealed to me. Characterized by minimum functional and metabolic activity. We talk about metabolism. Hello? Activity. It signifies freedom from work, labor, or movement. It also is a noun, and it also means to remain to a remaining part. Rest, adequate rest, y'all, is not just closing your eyes and going to sleep. Rest is disconnecting from something and or all things. And that's what the Holy Spirit told me. Rest is not just you having a day off from work and now you're at home and you're watching TV and stuff. That's not resting. You're relaxed, but that's not resting. Resting is completely having a disconnect from all things and all things that create some type of activity, because it says to be without activity or without movement. So rest to me, and I enjoy my adequate rest. It's not just me sleeping. My rest is also spending days where I don't deal with nobody. That's rest. Rest is disconnecting from people, places, and things. Rest is you only being in your moment and your energy, and that's it. So we all are not consuming the adequate amount of rest. We might be getting proper nutrients, because I'm going into this as well. I had a story that was told to me the other day about a woman who was a yoga, she was a vegan, but she still ended up dying from cancer. And of course, I know, I was taught that cancer is a parasite. And of course, when this person brought this up, I was like, damn, that's like fucked up to really like think you're living a good life and something like that happened. But of course, it came on to me, and it said that, even going into the Bible, that on the seventh day, the Lord rested. God rested. Rested did not mean that God went to bed. Rested did not mean that God completely just closed his eyes and he went out. He stopped creating on the seventh day. He disconnected from his creator mode on the seventh day. And so going into this, even though this woman was practicing yoga, this woman was meditating. Of course, this is not a read or any of that. Like I said, I'm just going based on, because this is what started my whole idea of wanting to have this conversation with the Holy Spirit. This woman was not receiving adequate amount of rest. This woman was stressed the hell out. This woman was doing a lot. She was this, I gotta this, I gotta this, I gotta do this, I gotta have this. And I'm also gonna type this in too, because when you're not disconnecting, y'all, and that's the thing too, you may have disconnected from your friends, but you're still not resting, because when you're having this isolation moment, you're still on TikTok having activity. You're still on YouTube having activity. You need a moment where you're not having any type of activity. Let me tell you if you don't understand, because stress is the opposite of rest, by the way. Okay? Stress is the body's natural physical. And this is to one of my sisters out there too, because my sister's like, I'm not stressing. No, you are. I feel it. I know what stress feel like, because stress caused me to have a lot of stuff like high blood pressure in the past when I was a teenager. I know what stress looked like, because stress caused me to have insomnia in the past. I know what stress looked like, because stress caused me to have a mental breakdown to where I was blocking everybody I knew and didn't want to see them, didn't want to hear them, I didn't want to hear their name because it was pissing me the hell off. Can we talk about it? That was called a mental breakdown caused by stress. But it says that stress is the body's natural. And also, by the way, too, crying out the blue is a sign of stress. People say, I think I'm depressed because I'm crying out the blue. No, baby, you're stressed the hell out. Because depression is also a form of stress. Depression is just what it said, depressed. You're compressed. Everything you're feeling, everything that you've dealt with mentally, physically, emotionally is being bottled up into one thing. And it's becoming so overwhelming to you that you're starting to have a physical breakdown. And the physical body is starting to deteriorate. And I said this before, and I'll continue to say this. If you're taking any type of medication, honey, for any type of ailment, your body is already in stress mode. You're already in red, baby. If you're taking any type of medication, it doesn't matter if it's for diabetes, it's just for enzymes issues, you're having digestive problems, you're already in a high stressed state. And you should be doing anything you can to not be in that state, to not be stressful. And I mean, people, place, and thing. That's what I say, y'all. A lot of people are better than me. And I'm not going to say better than me in the sense that they're better than me, but girl, they are strong people. Because, baby, ain't no motherfucking way I'll be dealing with people that don't give a fuck about me or treat me any type of way outside of how I treat myself. And that's that. But I know people that deal with people that really don't like them. And they've showed them through their actions. And now they're like, but I know they're going to change because I knew them for the past 20 years. Girl, they've already showed you who they are. And Maya Angelou said it best. When people show you their true colors, believe them. And that's that mom and daddy issue that we have, that we wanted mom and daddy to validate our experiences. And because they didn't give it to us, now we want our friends and our coworkers and stuff to validate our experiences. So even though they make us feel some type of way about ourselves, we want to still be in a motherfucking stanky ass booty. Because that's where we can't say their face. You're in their ass, sniffing it. And we enjoy being ass sniffers. Okay? And that's a very sad thing when you really sit back and think about it. Okay? Learn something from this. The last time I had to yell at a girl like this, I had to be quiet. Be quiet. I'm paying respect to my godmother Tyra Banks. Anyway, stress is the body's natural physical, mental, or emotional response to demands, challenges, and threats. Let's repeat that again. Stress is the body's natural, physical, mental, and emotional response. Physical meaning your body gets tight, you start shaking, you start getting a headache, you start getting aches in your body, your shoulders, your ankle, your feet is hurting. That's physical response. Mental response is you're upset, you're angry, and oh, just fuck my job, fuck my friends, fuck my neighbors, fuck my mama. Okay? And emotional, you're crying now. You're so upset at these experiences that you're crying. This is stress. Your body is releasing stressful energy through these things, through the body pain, through the mental dialogues, and you cuss people out, and I don't, oh, you know, fuck these people, fuck my job. Yeah, this is stress, babe. And also crying, okay? To demands, which is people needing something from you, or you putting needs on yourself. Challenges, which are normal, they're healthy. We're supposed to be challenged, but you being overwhelmed by these challenges, as well as threats. You're seeing something as a threat, right? It triggers a fight or flight response, releasing hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. And by the way, y'all, cortisol will stop you from losing weight. A lot of people are overweight in America, not because of their diet. They're overweight because they're stressed the fuck out. I love when I see people that are overweight and they say, girl, I don't even eat. I eat one meal a day. I don't know how I'm so big. Yeah, because you're stressed the fuck out, honey. Your hormones are imbalanced. Hello? And it said that prepare the body to act, causing increased heart rate, tension, and alertness. It can be short term or chronic. So I want you to understand how to de-stress yourself. And then we're going to get back into the rest. I'm going to be done. Positive stress, of course, can motivate, focus energy, improve performance. Like being competitive, that's positive stress. Like, oh, yeah. Oh my God, I'm about to take, oh yeah, this bitch thinks she good at me. She better than me at this. Let me actually learn more about this so I can beat it. Yeah, that's positive stress, honey. Negative stress, of course, causes anxiety, concern, and can lead to health issues. A lot of people have high blood pressure because they worry too much. 95, well, we're not going to give a percentage, but I guarantee you right now, if you have high blood pressure, baby girl, you stress too much. You stress too much. Somebody who was diagnosed with high blood pressure at 14 years old, who was then undiagnosed because they say you don't get rid of it, you just manage it. But either way, girl, it was controlled without any medication by the time I was 17 years old. To then, of course, get it again at like 19 or 20. To then again, not get it again. Like, girl, let's talk about it. Hello? Okay? It lowers, if you have high blood pressure, bitch, you're stressed. That's one way of knowing. Your blood vessels are tight, and this is how stroking should even come about too. Your your veins and arteries kind of get restricted. Of course, with the fat and shit that's in your blood, you got a lot of sugar in your blood too, a lot of fat in your blood. It causes a clot, and then other things happen like a stroke and stuff. But either way, this is why it's important for us to eat right, do right to our body, and drink water. We don't want to work out all day, y'all. Something that Spirit told me before, and it's been working for me. 12 minutes a day. You could divide this up. Go running very vigorously or walk very, very briskly for 12 minutes a day. And like I said, it don't have to be together. You can do 2 minutes, rest 2 minutes, and do two more like that. Or you could just do 2 minutes, wait a couple hours, go do two more minutes. And when I say running vigorously, girl, I mean you're running so bad, girl, that you're like, yeah, walking briskly, girl. You're doing so much that you're like, yeah, yes, baby. Okay, hello. 12 minutes every single day. That's all you need, honey. And it's Holy Spirit revealed that to me, girl. Can we talk about it? Hello? The Holy Spirit revealed that to me, honey. 12 minutes only. 12 minutes only, babe. Hello. You don't got to work out for 40 minutes like that. You got to stretch your body. You got to condition. Yes, cardio, yes, with your heart and stuff. But girl, working out to keep your cortisol levels low, your adrenaline levels low, to strengthen your body, to strengthen your lungs, which we all should be doing. Okay? You go do that. Okay? And so, either way, honey, it's important, you guys. Can we talk about it? It's important, you guys, to rest. Your off days from your job needs to be your off days from your friends too. Unless, of course, that's y'all hangout. But even if it is y'all hangout, give them an hour. I have an hour now to hang out with my friends, girl. We don't have hours and hours and hours, honey. We talk on the phone whenever we can, and we have an hour of hanging out. That's it. Baby, your off days is your off days. Sit back, put your feet up, and disconnect. Honey, grab you a bowl of ice cream, grab you some popcorn, grab a blanket, and just lay there. Lay there for a couple hours. Get some real rest. If you go to sleep, you go to sleep. But allow yourself rest, y'all. Overstimulation. People, place, and things, they overstimulate us. Don't let people overstimulate y'all. I'm telling you right now, if you want your spiritual practices to get better, if you want your physical, mental, and emotional body to get better, because people be like, girl, you're much stronger. And oh girl, that just be irking me too, y'all. That's one of my irkers, girl. That's one of my pet peeves, girl. When people say, but you're much stronger than I am. But I was once weak too. But see, that's when I started having internal dialogue. I started accepting the fact that I'm an emotional person. I started accepting the fact, and I noticed this too, that a lot of people are not emotional in the sense of crying, but a lot of people are emotional in the sense of they need to be touched. They need to touch on people. I learned that I am an emotional person, but I also said I want to get my emotional state right because, baby, I was also clingy and needy. Can we talk about it for a minute, y'all? Because I don't want people to, to everything that I'm judging them. When I first became who I was there was so much demonic shit thrown at me, drugs, uh, promiscuous energies, and also people death energy. People, transgenders die. You have a higher chance of being taken out, and you're already someone of color, so this increase your odds. Like you literally have a 1 in 9th chance of being gone. And I'm like, what does 1 in 9 chance mean? And it was saying basically every experience you have is a chance for you to go. And I was just in this panic mode, thinking like, but why me, God? Why, God? Why me? Why me? Why me? But why me, God? But why am I like this, God? What happened to me, God? Why do I gotta be like this? Why can't I be like everybody else? And I started having these self conversations with myself. I started self talking. And I started isolating myself out of fear. That's how I first started. I was afraid of people. Hello? Can we talk about it? I was afraid of people because I didn't trust people. I thought, oh my God, honey, they're not going to try to kill me for being transgender. They're going to try to put me in harm's way for being transgender because these were my experiences at this point. So I started having these inner dialogues with myself, by myself. Hello? And as I had these internal dialogues, things were being shown to me. Well, you have a higher chance of also stepping outside and having a building fall in on you. You have a higher chance of you stepping outside, falling on a crack, and breaking your goddamn back. And now, baby, you're out of here too. You have a good chance to turn around this corner and a car comes slamming through the side of the sidewalk, and now you're flat like a pancake, boo. Like, these were things that were being shown to me, and I'm like, girl, let me get out this motherfucking energy. And of course, it took some time, y'all. It was not just overnight. But the same thing with men, y'all. Men were so obsessed with me, and I was so obsessed with men that I was like, oh my God, I gotta have it all. Baby, listen, it was like, girl, every day it seemed like, if not every day, every week, I had a date, honey, when I was single. I had somebody coming over, girl, and we were watching movies, eating, talking. Sometimes it was sexual, sometimes it wasn't. Because, like I said, I could still count on now both of my hands how many sexual partners I've had when it comes to intercourse. Hello? I just want to point that out. If you want to talk about oral only, honey, okay, girl, we could probably use two hands plus two more hands, but that's okay, girl. That's what, only 20 people, girl. Hello, I know people that had 1,000 partners by the time they were only 15 years old, girl. No shade. So I'm like, honey, okay, 20 people. Okay, girl, and I'm 3 or 4 years away from being 40. Bitch, I think that's goddamn good to be an LGBT person. I think it's goddamn good for me to be a part of the LGBT community and never have tried meth, crystal, tina, pills, any type of drugs. I think it's very well good of me to be a part of the LGBT community and be STD, HIV free. I think it's goddamn well good of me to be this old bitch and not only have motherfucking 20 sexual partners, but can say on motherfucking one hand, one hand, how many I've had intercourse with. Hello. And so either way, I started having these dialogues with myself. And I started, like I said, knowing who I am. So I started, these men, I guess these men started seeing this beautiful thing bloom within me and they were wanting it too, girl. I mean, it was like, I was like, this is weird. Girl, I was going to like the car dealer places. They were wanting it just flat out like, ooh, mama. And of course, some of them were playing like they were, they were flirting, they were joking because, I felt like I was clockable during that time. And it is what it is, girl. Hey, girl, we all are clocky even now. But anywho, I was just like, what's going on? And so, y'all, I started like utilizing, like, no. So they want me to be sexual because they're sexual. They think by them validating me and being who I am because they can sense that I was an insecure as transgender. They were like, okay, this is a man who thinks he's a woman and he needs validation as womanhood. So I'm gonna help him get his validation. And so they thought that it was exciting to me, and it was at a point to say, let me dick you down. They thought it was exciting at a point, which it was, to say, I want you bad. You got a nice mouth on you. What that mouth do? Like, they thought that was really exciting to me. And it was in a way like, damn, this man really woman, this is a sexy ass motherfucker. This is a green eyed Spanish guy. Ooh, this is a Middle Eastern guy that's 6'5" with muscles. And but why would he want me? Like he can have any girl in the world. Why he want little old tranny me? Transgender bricky hard ass face as me. Girl, Serena Williams, me Wendy Williams asked me, why do they want this? Right? That's what I'm thinking. But of course, it's the predator versus prey energy. And so, y'all, I was like, God, I need you to show me like how through my spiritual practices, and even not just God, because we're not going to give credit just to saying God. We're going to say Bastet, we're going to say Sekhmate, we're going to say, Oshun, and that's where we're going to leave it at. And so I was like, show me how to embrace my divine feminine energy, but I don't have to be ultrally sexual, right? How to embrace it. And as time went on, it did not come immediately. I was noticing certain men that I was into or that would normally say, hey, you look good. Can we fuck? That I'll be like, oh, yeah, oh my God, yeah, thank you for the compliment. Oh, baby, yeah, we're not going to be fucking, but I'm down to suck that off. I noticed that I wasn't excited by them. I was like, oh, that's kind of boring. Like, I'm sorry, babe, you got to come at me another way. And then, of course, they would like read me down, but you're still a man. You're still a man anyway. Baby, you should feel thankful and grateful that a straight man like me even offered to let you suck me up. The fuck, devil? The fuck, devil? That is not, it's something excited about, girl. You piss out of that thing, and on top of that, you probably stick that in every motherfucking hole, including cats and motherfucking dogs. Bitch, bye. And that'd be another thing too, girl. People out here crying over dick and vagina that be letting everything up on it and in it, girl. That is nothing to be bragging about. Anywho, I'll let that go. And so either way, y'all. So I started distancing myself. I started realizing, and I think that's when the sexual energy really got released up out of me in 2018 because I really started embracing my spirituality. But I started saying I want something of substance. And of course, girl, that's when certain things started coming into play, which we'll say that for story time. And I told y'all that's why I was feeling like Tyler Perry knew about my story and he wrote the have and have nots about it. But hey, now that's not my business. We're gonna talk about it, y'all. And like I said, there's his story, her story, and there's receipts. I keep all my receipts, by the way. Hello, okay, hello. I keep all my receipts. And I'm not saying that Tyler Perry made a scene or a certain series of the have nots about me, but I think it's crazy because Tyler Perry don't know me. But I'm like, it's crazy how art will imitate life and vice versa. Like, it's so crazy. In that moment, people are like, you need to start watching Have Nots. I did. I'm like, wait a minute. This is giving me Candace Young. Wait, this is got, wait, what? Like, this is kind of giving me my tea, girl. What's going on here? Anyway, and I told y'all some of the stories too, so we'll do a story time too about it, honey. And we'll save different stories for different time. I won't tell y'all all the stories at once, and we'll give you like from beginning to end, like how it started and how it ended. But anyway, and I'll be on camera for that too, by the way. So I learned how to deal like with the energy. I'm like, so it is the little girl in me that's needing some type of validation from my parents that is needing these men to validate me. And so I started having conversation with my parents, my step parents, my biological parents. And I told y'all, even at one point in time, my biological father started trying to become, back into my life and was trying to like, just so you know, you have a house over here, y'all have a house over there, and there's money put away for you when I die. And I'm just like, bitch, keep your motherfucking money in your motherfucking houses, bitch. Respectfully, honey. I'm sorry. Respectfully. Respectfully, girl, without being disrespectful. And so when I started having these dialogues, y'all, that's when I started to feel better. I started to like release things, y'all. And so fast forwarding, I'm saying like I know what it's like to be a clingy, needy ass person, but being a clingy, needy ass person is just you not being secured in who you are and knowing what you deserve. You not knowing your worth. You don't know what your spirit been through to get you to this life, to get you in this moment right here, right now, to even have this experience. And not even to mention about that, because a lot of people, like I said, will get into empathy, sympathy, and how they're connected to people. And I think it's pseudo sympathy and I think it's pseudo empathy, because you cannot have empathy or sympathy for other people if you don't have it for yourself. Just like you cannot say that I want a best friend when you don't know how to be a best friend. I want a real man when you don't know how to be a real woman or a real man. That does not work like that, babe. You do not know what to look for in a real man if you're not a real man or you're not a real woman. So that's called pseudo, which is false sympathy, false empathy. And so either way, people will sit here and they'll say, I have sympathy, I have empathy, and because I feel these people's energy, but it's like, but you don't feel your own energy. And that's not how the Holy Spirit, unless of course you're not from the Holy Spirit. And now that's a whole nother conversation we need to have. Are you from a higher God or a lower God, a lower ranking God? Hello. Are you from the God that reigns supreme over the universe or the God that's going to soonly be destroyed? Hello. Hello. Abaddon. Abandonment issues. Can we talk about it for a minute? Because see, these are conversations people don't really want to have, but it should be had. Who brought you? Where you come from? Who is your source? Because it really got me thinking and believing that, baby, we're not one and the same. Hello. Especially you slap me in my motherfucking face when I done fed your motherfucking ass. Ow. See, I want you to understand that, honey, when you know yourself, when you know your self-worth, you don't let people tell you anything else. And even going into the sympathy where I was going with that, I have sympathy for people, for animals, but like, girl, I can't even watch certain videos, y'all. I stopped watching animal videos because YouTube and TikTok are so negative with animal videos. They're showing people gluing dogs' mouth closed. They're showing people running dogs over. They're showing pictures of videos of people throwing their dogs out the window. And the unhealed me would hunt these people down, and I want you to tape glue my motherfucking mouth closed. I want you to throw my motherfucking ass out a motherfucking car window. But see, I have to get up out of that, y'all, because that shit right there, that should be pissing me off. And so I know these are triggers for me, and I don't have to be healed from that, baby, because I love animals, and we talked about this before. That's my passion. And so when you do shit like that to animals, they make you feel some type of way. It make you feel like, girl, so if somebody did that to you, y'all out here crying, oh girl, look what they're doing to people, but y'all doing it to the animals. Bitch, it has to be a balance within nature. If you think it's okay to glue dogs' mouth closed and throw them over buildings and stuff, then I think it's okay for people to throw you over buildings. I think it's okay for people to glue your mouth closed. I think it's okay for people to do fucked up shit to you. In all honesty, if we're gonna be honest for a moment, if I can have a human experience for a moment, I think that it's good. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. And so either way, when you have sympathy for other people, when you are going through some type of trauma, you're not selfish about your trauma, for one, but you also understand that there are other people that have been in worse. Oh, come on in there, Holy Spirit. Now, see, people don't like this type of teaching, but bitch, I'm going to teach it the way that I know that it is, and that's nothing but the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. When you have sympathy, real sympathy and empathy for people, when you're going through stuff, you can't help but to think about what other people are going through. You can't help but to think about, well, somebody has this worse. Somebody is worse off than me. And that helps you get over your situations a lot faster. I told y'all that before. That's what helped me be in my moment for a day or two, and I get out of it. Because it's like, damn, somebody could have been in a worse situation than me. Somebody is in a worse situation than me. Like, why am I going to sit here and complain to God, why me, why me, why me, why me, why me? And there's people that are in worse situations than myself. And that's sympathetic or empathetic. That's what real empathy and sympathy is. Real empathy and sympathy is never selfish. A real sympathetic or empathetic person is never, it's me, 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 me. They're never in that moment. If you are a pseudo empathetic person, which I think a lot of serial killers have acted like that, which is actually a form of sociopath, by the way, anti-personality disorder. I believe that that's pseudo. And like I said, they will act like they love, they care. I love people, I care for people. Well, no, you only love, care for people when you're getting something out of it. When you're not getting nothing out of it, you don't give a fuck about it. Because if you really care for people, like I said, when you're going through something, you will understand first and foremost that God gave you all things that you needed to survive this thing called life. This is a small little section for those of you who believe in spirituality. You're only going to experience this life for less than 1% of your experience, honey. Hello? 100 years out of eons and eons of years. They said that the first human being walked this planet 250,000 years ago, y'all. They said that this universe is billions of years old. So your energy is just that old. So to sit here and fret and fright over because I lost $100 or $2,000 as if I can't get that back, baby, that's for the birds. When there's people that never even have the opportunity to even have that type of money. I mean, that's what I think about. So it's like, ooh, girl, let it go. It's not worth it. It's not worth me losing sleep, me fucking up myself. But once again, I continue to say, when people are in a state of stress or distress, right? Because that's chronic. Distress is chronic, which causes physical illnesses and stuff. They have to like really try to decompress that stress as soon as they can. They cannot be in stressful situations. And also they have to learn what their triggers are. If you know certain energies, certain things are triggers, you have to do an A and B with all things like I do. Logic and reasoning. When I meet something or I have an experience, I think to myself, okay, right now, this is what it looks like when things are going good. But what does it look like when things are going bad? See, we're always about positive thinking, but I feel like when people have reality, when reality hits, not fantasy, fantasy will have you thinking that in order to manifest money, you got to only think about how the money coming, the money coming, the money coming. No, honey, when you're trying to manifest the money, you got to think about the positive and negative. Okay, when I get this money, it's good I'm gonna have, but what am I gonna do when I actually get this money? Well, I have debt, I need to pay off my debt. Okay, well, whatever, people money. Bam. This is also what goes along with it. You can't just plan for the money coming. What are you gonna do when the money actually come? The same thing with anything. I want a woman, I want a man, I want a car, I want a house. Once you get the house, you gotta keep the house clean. Once you get the car, you gotta keep the car up. You gotta pay for oil change and stuff. Are you gonna be able to have the money to do that too? When it comes into a man, okay, or the woman, they come in, oh, it's peaches and cream when they make you feel good. But let's see what happens when you have your bad days, honey. When the days are not so good, when the days are not so positive, how are you gonna be feeling in? Or now you want to die? Now you want to just block everybody, cuss everybody out? Oh, fuck you, fuck no. That's a part of life, and I leave this with y'all. Life has a cycle. Infinity is the figure eight, which is a never ending loop. And it just loops around each other, back and forth, left to right, front to back, top to bottom, fat to skinny, gay to straight. Hello? Everything has to have an opposite, babe, because without an opposite, the other side really doesn't exist. Hello? Without homosexuals, there's no heterosexual, babe. Hello? I want you to wake up to that. Everything has its cycles. The good and the bad. The ugly and the pretty. Some days you're going to feel like you're at the top of the world. Some days you're going to feel like you're at the bottom of the world. They say that manic depression is having extreme episodes, meaning when you're at the top of the world, you want to go do cartwheels. You want to go smoke pot, pop pills, fuck everybody in town. When you're having your extreme lows, now you're not eating. Now you're not doing things you love to do. But everybody outside of that, you still have your highs and your lows. What makes you not a manic depressed person, or what keeps you normal and grounded, which we all should be doing, by the way. I feel like when people are too emotional, they're not grounded, and there's no shade. Spirit showed me this because, of course, I told y'all I have friends that everybody go through stuff, but I have friends that really have been going through stuff. And when I would be around them, certain things would happen. And Spirit is like, because they're not grounding. They're not grounding. So because your energy is grounded, because your energy is pushing and pulling negative and positive, their energy is not grounded and they're only pushing negative right now. So it's just like a battery. It's just like a magnet. When two positives come together, or it's a push, but it's not too push. When it's two negative sides or whatever, it starts to like really push against it, right? It takes a positive and a negative to actually attract, right? Because there has to be a balance. So going into that, when we're in cycles, we have our good, we have our bad. What makes us normal, and what, like I said, separates us from manic depressed people, is that we understand that we have good and bad days. And we understand when the days are bad to just allow those days to be bad. You don't seek out alcohol and pills and sexual excursions to make yourself feel better. Because in reality, you fucked up your cycle. You fucked up your equilibrium of functioning as a normal person. When the days are bad, allow yourself to have those bad days. When you're not feeling good, you're not feeling like dealing with people, allow that. Be in that energy. You don't have to owe it to anybody to say, well, this is why. No, honey, be in that energy. Also, if you know you're not in a good mood, don't go out. Don't try to go see people. Don't try to be in people's face because you know they're going to trigger you. They're going to make your bad energy that you're feeling even worse than that, right? It's called emotional regulation. Going even into high days, good days. Once again, because you become overstimulated, y'all. If your life was perfect every single day, y'all, I want you to understand this. You would be so overstimulated that once the good life is over, you will want to say, "Ah, fuck everybody." Now, girl, now you're just this destructive energy. Okay? I need you to understand equilibrium. That should be my new keyword. Emotional equilibrium. Emotional equilibrium. We have to be balanced, y'all. And this is why we have our ups and our downs. And when you're feeling down, don't expect people to help you feel better neither, because it doesn't work. I don't know about for y'all, but it doesn't work for me. If I'm in a bad mood, I don't care. I could call a friend. They could make me feel a little better, but I'm still going to feel down and heavy. Okay? I'm still going to feel down and heavy. Okay? Can we talk about it? Yeah, I'm still going to feel down and heavy. I'm still going to feel like, oh my God. And so I learned, like I said, just be to yourself when you're feeling down. When you're feeling down, I had to tell a friend off. I had to tell a friend off the other day because I normally like hang around with them and I talk to them a lot. I guess for like 3 or 4 days I wasn't talking to them and they were calling me fake and shit. And I was like, girl, no, fake would have been if I talked to you every day. Fake would be when I don't want to be bothered with you and I'm acting like I do want to be bothered with you. That's being fake, baby. What's being real is that I gave myself time to distance myself from everybody. And so the fact that you're calling me fake and you tell other people that I'm fake, you're fake. And that also kind of fucked up our relationship a little bit, honestly, honey. I don't really see it from like that, girl. I hang by and I keep pushing. I give him 10 minutes of my time. I keep pushing, girl. One thing about me, two things, sure, girl. You don't validate and you don't value my time. You don't get a lot of it. You get some of it. Hello? Respectfully, honey. There's no offense to anybody. And there's no redo. Bitch, if you don't respect my time, I've given you days and weeks and months or even hours, and you did not take that for value and you took it for granted. Unfortunately, I have to mind my business. Unfortunately, I got to keep it pushing. Unfortunately, I got to say au revoir. Okay, unfortunately, I got to say God bless America. That's it, honey. You'll still get my time, but it won't be every day, all day. It won't be every week, neither. It'll be when I have the extra time to give. So just in case that time is wasted again, I'm not going to feel like I'm owed that time back. Because, hey, I have free time anyway. You know what I mean? So, anyway, let me see who's up in there, honey. Okay. Ooh, Heather. Okay. Okay, come on there. I'm Dee Dee. How you doing? Said hi. Hey, come on in here. I guess everybody's celebrating Easter Sunday, honey. Go to celebrate. Hey, hi, Dee Dee. Hey, Heather, honey. Yes, honey. Listen, God, let me go. Let me go, honey. Maybe, YouTube ain't promote my shit neither because they don't want me to. We talk about certain shit. I don't give a damn, honey. I talked about it, and we're gonna let it be, honey. We're gonna talk about on a future conversation. We're gonna talk about Oh, my watch died. Let me let this bitch charge up, honey. Hold on. We're gonna talk about on a future um podcast. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about some things, honey, and I hope y'all ready. Okay? I hope y'all ready. We're gonna talk about some things, honey. And oh, okay. My bank just alerted me that one of the accounts that I connected to on my bank, it expires. I guess because the account is already paid off. But it's like, how would they know that, honey? Anyway, let me go, you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. And of course, happy Easter. Like, so our next podcast, we'll be talking about some stuff, y'all. They're coming to deliver my shit tomorrow. So, tonight, I'm supposed to be, ooh, see, I'm going to probably do that. I need to shampoo that carpet. I need to shampoo. Yeah, I need to go in there. I need to shampoo that carpet. So that's what I'm gonna be doing tonight, honey. Shampooing, vacuuming, and all that. Baby, hey, hello. Look at him. He trying to get comfortable and shit. Look at him. Look at him. Hello. 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 Hey, 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 hey. That's the only way he know how to hear. Right. When I say hello, he just like, whatever. When I say, hey, 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 now he looking. Okay? Yes, honey. Leave that alone. Good baby. Good baby. Anyway, you guys, we'll be talking again too soon, y'all. Okay, love and light, love and truth, and it was good seeing you. I'm Dee Dee and Hather Two Skies, honey. Yes, honey, we've been here for 2 hours, y'all. I hope that definitely I gave y'all enough tea to do what it is y'all need to do, and be good to each other, honey. Hello. Anyway, y'all. Bye for now. Love and light, and we will talk again soon. Okay. Bye.